Libra, what's good? I am here with your April reading. Thank you so much for tapping in with me, checking out this month's reading. I've already shuffled, cut the deck. We're getting ready to do another 5-card spread. That'll be 1 card for every element and then a message from Spirit. So without further ado, we'll just hop right in. First card out, message from Spirit, is the 3 of Air. This is Hercules. Great effort, trial, and persistence. Earth is the next card out. Oh, I love this card. You got 10 of Earth. This one is perfection, completion, and continuity. So dope. I love these cards too because on each of them they have a constellation. I don't know a whole lot about every constellation, so if you are that tapped in and it means something to you, by all means. In the element of water, you've got the 2 of Air. End of naivety, truth, and revelation. All right, and in the position of Air, you got 2 cards. You've got the 8 of Earth, and you've got the Hanged Man underneath. The 8 of Earth is time, milestones, and progression. And the Hanged Man is faith, guidance, and outside force. So here is that first 8 of Earth. This card's pretty dope. I love the little clock. Here's the Hanged Man. Last card out in the position of Fire. This is dope too. I like this card. So you got the Hermit. And then this one is the Quest, solitary journey, and pursuit of wisdom. Now this constellation I've actually heard about. All right, so we're going to start here with Hercules, right here in the middle, this 3 of Air. So typically we know 3 of Air to be heartbreak. 3 of Swords is kind of a card that is one that we pull when there has been a heartbreak of some sort as far as love goes. As far as family goes, it could definitely be all of the above. It could represent heartbreak across multiple lifetimes. It could represent heartbreak in that current moment. It could represent, it also always represents actually having something to do with our own heartbreak and playing a part. So with that said, this card is a little different as far as great effort, trial, and persistence, because this is basically saying all of those heartbreaks are really nothing other than distractions, other than hurdles for us to get over, other than, things to grow us and to make us better. But it has to hurt or it won't work. A lot of times, we can try to grow with a gentle force, with a gentle push, but it doesn't always work. A lot of times when you use force and when you are in a position where you have to do something no matter what, that is when we are most successful. So I think that this card really speaks to not only having to get through and get over heartbreak as a distraction, as a means to kind of cling to something in order to hold on to a story. We're going to have to let go of that. It's going to take great effort. Right, and then it's also a trial, right? It's most heartbreaks are, when you think, especially in terms of a relationship, some heartbreaks are not always cheating. It's not always financial infidelity. It's not always, something very drastic that requires ultimately a permanent separation. A lot of times it can be smaller things. A lot of times heartbreak can come just from everyday interactions with people. Heartbreak can come from a partner, in their lack of expression. Heartbreak can come from, miscommunication, misunderstanding. It can come from a lot of things. It can come, from again, sexual incompatibility. It comes from a lot of places. So with that said, it doesn't have to be something extremely dramatic for it to be a trial, for it to be really hard, and for it's to be something that, you know, you have to navigate with those scales, something that you have to try to balance out, figure out what your part of it is, and then understand too what it is that actually pierces your heart, so that you can be clear about it and then you can express how you feel. That way there your partner, you know, has the opportunity to address the situation before it gets even bigger. If it is something like cheating, if it is something like financial infidelity, this is definitely a trial that's going to require persistence. So you're going to have to pick a side. You're going to have to determine where you're at, and you're going to have to kind of stick with it once you make your decision. Down in the earth element, you've got perfection, completion, and continuity. Libra, I feel like for you, at least as far as work goes, work, and for some of you, actually love. That 3 of air isn't just for those of you who are in a relationship experiencing some sort of hardship. It can also be, you know, what you've had to overcome in order to receive this 10 of earth, in order for you to get to this position. If you see here, she's got her eye kind of covered up, like she's got some sort of wound there. You guys have probably had to overcome quite a bit in order to receive this 10 of Pentacles. So congratulations, first and foremost. And also, this is basically saying you have gotten to a place where you feel fulfilled in the physical. This could be with your family. You know, you've been spending a lot of quality time together. You're like, okay, this is great. I, you know, have reestablished a strong bond with my tribe. I have, you know, really invested well. I've, you know, all of the things that come with that 10 of Pentacles as far as, you know, again, I've got a good job. My family is secure. I have long-term, you know, security, and I also have fertility. You know, maybe, you know, you're having another baby, or maybe there's something going on that, you know, brings the ending of one cycle, right? Maybe you were a family of 3, now you're a family of 4. Maybe you know, you invested some money and now you're seeing a really dope return from that. It's something that has brought you full circle. So again, congratulations. And the lessons you've learned from having to fight so hard to get to this was the ultimate bag. You secured how to unlock this 10 of Pentacles, which again, that was a bigger come up than the actual 10 Pentacles that came from this card. So the next card out, this is in the place of emotion. You've got the 2 of air, end of naivety, truth, and revelation. So if you can see in his mouth, he's got a rabbit. I have an animal deck by Kim Kranz. I love her. Thank you, Aja. And in the beginning, it talks about the rabbit always speaking into existence that, you know, he's going to die, that he's prey, and eventually the eagle comes through to prove exactly that point. So this is basically, and this card reminds me of that. Some of you might be feeling like in your emotional space, there was something that you should have seen. There was something that you should have known. There was some sort of communication that you missed, or that there were clear signs of that you chose to ignore, and kind of got you a little fucked up. It kind of got you caught in the mouth of some predatory shit. I don't know what exactly this is, especially emotionally. I feel like maybe along with this 3 of swords, or 3 of air, excuse me, you also had to address some of the truths about that. Like I said before, some of us really have to get in touch with, when we are heartbroken, what our part was of that heartbreak. Were we too tolerant? Were we ignorant to some of the signs? Did we intentionally ignore them? And with this is basically saying, you know, with having come, you know, so far in this journey to get to the Ten of Pentacles, some of the ways that you were thinking had you fucked up and got you hurt. Some of the ways, some of the decisions that you were making and the ways that you were making them ended up hurting you in the end. And ultimately, yes, you were successful here in the physical, but it took a whole hell of a lot. And so I feel like you still have residual emotional energy around feeling stupid or feeling a way about some of the choices you made emotionally, or who you invested your feelings in, or a partnership of some sort. Don't hold yourself too hostage to making decisions that in hindsight 2020 you would not have made. You would not have gotten to where you were in the physical without those energetic pieces of information to get you there. You might never have come out of a certain situation emotionally had you not had experienced a certain heartbreak, a certain revelation, a certain truth about yourself or someone else. It wouldn't have got you to where you are now. Not as quickly, and not with the type of energy that you have now. I don't think you would have been as protective of your future had you not experienced some sort of, damn, I really let somebody pull some shit over on me, or I really was ignorant to that, or I really chose to ignore that and it really turned out fucked up. Congratulations, you learned. Next time though, hopefully you don't have to end up in the mouth of some fuck shit in order for you to, pick up on, hey, no, this isn't going to work for me. I can see the heartbreak coming in this. I can feel that there's some mistruth to this, and I can feel that there's something I can't see. And again, that's the real bag. The experience itself is the come up. It's not that you made it out alive, or that, you'll get your heart back together again and fall in love again. All of that, yes. But also the information, the processing that it takes to get through some of those things, that really is essentially the bag again. What you've been thinking about, we're going to start, just because it was on top with this Eight of Earth. This is time, milestones, and progression. And I see that with this Ten of Earth right underneath it, right? You have it kind of aligned like this with your spirit card in the middle. Again, you really have gotten to a point where you have really hit like it says, a milestone that makes you feel complete in the physical. It really makes you feel like, damn, I did that. Damn, I secured this. I invested well. I waited. I was patient. I did my thing when it came to X, Y, or Z in the physical. Maybe again, this is you having a baby, and it's like, this is a milestone. Maybe, you're just married. This is your first child. Maybe you've been struggling to have children, and you've been, using IVF, and this is a huge milestone because you're finally pregnant. Maybe there's something in the cycle that brings you this Ten of Pentacles. Maybe, somebody got a new job. Maybe you got a promotion and it's been forever and you've been waiting, but this is something that has finally happened, especially during a time like this. This is huge, right? A lot of people are losing their jobs or being laid off. For you, I feel like you finally found your gold. Libra, what are you up to in the physical? I want to know. You rich, Libra? Did you get rich? Anyway, I also feel like what you are continuing to think about now that you have secured that Ten of Pentacles is to continue on, doing that. You're going to continue to, you're thinking about your future. You're thinking about how to secure even further past, maybe you've already covered, I can pay my rent for the next year. Should I need to be, should I need to, I can cover my expenses for the next 5 years with this particular investment or this savings account. Maybe you've covered your retirement already. Maybe you're thinking about, putting your kids through college. Maybe you're thinking about, your generational wealth and what that looks like now that you've experienced physical wealth here in the 3D. What could that look like for your future generations, right? So this is also telling me you've hit some sort of goal. You've made it. You hit some sort of mark that you were aiming for, and now how can you do it again? How can you keep that as a consistent, almost like clockwork, like the card shows? How can you make that a permanent fixture and a permanent piece of what you're doing? I don't know, Libra, but congratulations, because this is what you're thinking about, and whatever you're thinking about, through that persistence and that hard work and all these trials, you have figured out how to secure the bag. Congratulations. Please, tips and tricks for the rest of the zodiac. We're waiting. All right, last card out in the place of fire. You've got solitary journey, pursuit of wisdom, and the quest. This is the Hermit. Now that you've kind of put in all of this work, you just want to sit the fuck down and be alone and think about it and process and truly, you know, I think this for you, whatever this was, whatever this financial come up or whatever this, you know, this physical gain that you received, this completion, whatever this was, it really took a lot. It really did take persistence. It really did take hard work, and it really did put you through a lot of shit. So for you, I feel like now you just want to rest, and again, you just kind of want to reflect. I think this was a very organic thing that you were working on in the physical. I feel like it was something that was, you know, you either had a passion for, or you ended up just really having to put a lot into it, you know, for whatever reason. And now, you know, as far as your passions go, as far as your desires go, you really just want to chill out. You really kind of just want to recalibrate, find yourself. You might need to get back into nature. This could mean, you know, for those, I know a lot of my healer friends, like, their energy is like, I'm gonna go pick herbs and steep tea for myself. And you're just like, damn, all that? You don't want some Earl Grey? No, I'm gonna do it myself. Which is